Mikell here. Welcome to the Move with Mikell Podcast. I'm with
Adam Avalos, realtor, Yuba Sutter, Butte County, Northern California, Sacramento to Chico. That's my jammy jam.
Let's go. Okay, Adam. So you were going to tell a story before we started the podcast, so I'm going to let him go on his tangent of his story.
All right, you were saying that, like, right before we started, that one of your worst fears is going bald. And as a woman, that would be, like, pretty dreadful. I was having a conversation with Steve McCarthy today, our mentor, our coach, awesome realtor, and I was telling him, isn't it funny how, like, The Rock, you know, the people's champ, or Dwayne Johnson, as some people know him, like, when he was a wrestler on WWF or WWE, he was never in the running for world's sexiest man, like, people's sexiest man alive. But since he's become like a movie star and you see him everywhere, now he's been sexiest man alive like twice. And he's not like more handsome, he's older and he's bald.
Well, I'm curious, how long was he, because I don't know that much about wrestling, but how long was he wrestling for?
He was, like The Rock, without making this podcast all about The Rock. The Rock, his dad was like a professional wrestler, and then he got into it. So like, but there's like even clips of him like while his dad was wrestling in the WWE or WF, whatever it was at that time, him as a little kid like in the crowd. But I think probably like over a decade, maybe like 15 years, and by the end of it, his run, and he still makes like cameos in wrestling. I see sometimes. I don't really watch wrestling, but by the end of it, he was the biggest wrestler in the WWF. And I was talking to Steve. This is like another little side topic, but like most people would be totally happy with that life that they're living, like being, the best wrestler. He was already like pretty wealthy. But The Rock, like I was telling Steve, I think something even switched in him even further. Because when he started his wrestling journey, he probably thought to himself, I just want to be the best wrestler or the most famous wrestler known to man. But then he reached that, and then he was like, dude, I need to be like the most famous person. And I think he's achieved that. I think if you showed like, had to choose one picture of one American to just show to people besides maybe like Trump or something, if you showed a picture of The Rock to people in like China, they would know who that is. He is like super famous now.
It's so crazy though, because it's like, I also think there's only a period you can go through wrestling, because that's so much damage on the body, if it's real or not, but that's so much damage to go through on the body. So I think at a point you do have to have that switch, because you're like, damn, I can't wrestle my whole life.
Yeah, he was able to, like, there's probably nobody that pivoted better than The Rock. And like when he was in wrestling, his character, like wrestling in itself is a little bit goofy and cheesy and like over the top. But now he's like a huge mega star. And it's just funny to me because he obviously his work ethic is probably like unparalleled. That guy works like really, really, really hard. Dwayne Johnson does. But it's funny to me because like I told Steve, if you could make a list, like if you polled all women in America and you said, what was like the 3 most unattractive qualities in a man? Maybe they would say like, if he's like out of shape, or if he like has messed up teeth, or if they're bald. And The Rock, like he's not out of shape, he has good teeth too, but like he's bald, but the women don't care. Like he's been able to like just boost himself like into this like crazy stratosphere of like, popularity and, appeal.
I wonder if you can think off the top of your head, what is the first movie The Rock did as like the actor Rock, not as,
I don't know, but even I could think of one where it's like, I think it's called like The Rundown or something, where he's like essentially like a bounty hunter, and he's kind of like playing like and he does this in most of his movies, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger type, like, And but if I remember correctly, his first few movies that he did, he wasn't like a really good actor. Like it was like more of that like WWF like cheeseball-y stuff. But now like he's like, I'm not gonna say he's like gonna win like an Oscar or anything, but he's a pretty good actor, and he's in a lot of stuff. He is probably our modern day like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like an action hero.
That's well said.
Yeah, in a lot of stuff. So, anyways, The Rock. If you are in any any type of business or, just any spot in your life where I feel like, and I'm not saying this, like I didn't wake up this morning thinking like, yeah, I got to be just like The Rock. But he is a pretty good example. Like if you follow him on Instagram, he has a tons of followers of a guy that has no quit. He hustles really, really hard. Honestly, regardless of how attractive he really is, he has made himself like very appealing to people. He's created multiple businesses, and
he made an opportunity so fast out of just wrestling, and that's crazy. Like just so smart.
Yeah, he's so a good guy to pattern, like, in real estate. He's a good guy to kind of be like, Just don't quit. Keep pushing forward. Make the most out of it. And I think his thing is no one can outwork him. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, and he wakes up every day and is like, you know, I got this many hours. Like, I just got to outwork everybody. And he's been successful at it.
That's a good mindset to have, dude.
Yeah, The Rock's cool.
The Rock is pretty sick. What was it? Do you remember he recently made a song?
I just know Moana.
No, he like recently made like a I think it was like kind of like a hustle song where it's supposed to get you like amped and ready. What's it called?
I don't know.
What's it called?
I don't know if he's like the best singer, but
Moana was pretty good. He was pretty good singing.
Oh yeah.
I love how this became the Rock podcast.
I know.
He's so awesome.
Good. And when Disney does a great job, I think sometimes of like with those animated ones of like fitting the. I don't know if they chose the Rock to do the voice for that guy and then they created the character or like they created the character and then chose but that guy looks like him and like it just the voice works perfect and
it really enables him.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They're making a live action one.
That's exciting.
Which I'm assuming, and The Rock's going to be in it, he said. So I guess he's just going to be Moana. Maybe they're going to like put a wig on him because
that would be so awesome. Kind of like Medea.
Yeah.
How it's Tyler Perry.
It'll be interesting. But that was actually a good Disney movie. When you have kids, you end up having to watch all these cartoons. So anytime you get like a halfway decent one, you're like, oh, thank goodness, like that was watchable. You know?
It's funny because every time I'm with Adam, I hear him talking about Moana. And it's always Moana. It's nothing else. Miss Rachel.
That one was pretty good. Moana's pretty good. There's some pretty bad ones too. Like Toy Story was so good. The first and the second and the third, and then it just kind of like slowly kind of goes down.
I liked one of the newer Toy Stories. It was the one with Forky.
Yeah, that
one was funny.
That guy's funny. That guy was funny.
But it's crazy if you ever watch back, because I have nieces. I don't have kids, but I'll watch back with my nieces, and I'm like watching Toy Story. I'm like, it's crazy how we thought the animation was so like on top of its time, but I guess it was 2000.
Yeah, that was like Pixar. That was and now everybody pretty much copies their style, you know. Yeah, that looks so good.
That's so funny. But yeah, I was rewatching and I was like, this kind of looks like shit. But for the time, it was immaculate.
Yeah, at the time that was like awesome, and now everybody kind of like stole their stuff. Yeah,
that's crazy. Well, Adam, we have a bunch of summer events.
Let's talk about something serious here, okay? Yeah, let's knock this nonsense off. Enough of Dwayne Johnson. Let's get to it.
Summer events. Are you going to the summer stroll this weekend?
I am not.
You're not?
It's on Plymouth Street?
Yeah, it's on Plymouth.
Oh, my gosh. I've been to so many summer strolls. It's Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll try to get out there. Don't know if I'm going to make it. Got a kind of a semi-personal thing going on tomorrow, but maybe after that, stop on by. It is a great place to meet people. It's a good time. I've been out there many, many times. I've lived here 37 years in this area, and so Summer Stroll is definitely cool. Plymouth Street is awesome. There'll be some great people out there. So even if I don't go, you should go. Go check it out. Summer Stroll.
I love it. I used to go because I lived like on Bridge Street, so I used to walk there with my siblings as a kid, and we'd walk there and just go up and down it. But it's crazy. Did you know the whole Plymouth Street was based off a city, like cities in San Francisco? Like
really?
There was a bunch of engineers, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong, any history buffs, but I was told by a lot of like older people who were there when it was happening, but they based the whole street like in San Francisco. And I guess a lot of people will go out there and like compare it to like, do you know where Chinatown is? How it's like a little small shop way. So they based it off that to see how it would work. Cool. And it worked really well.
Yeah. I love Chinatown.
Yeah. I wonder how long, because I tried looking into it, how long they've been doing the summer stroll. It's been like years.
You want to hear a funny Chinatown story?
Yes.
This is all this podcast is going to be. Her saying something in my mind and then being like, oh, Chinatown. I got to tell her this story. I was in Chinatown one time. This was when I first met Mariana. And we went down
Mariana's wife.
Yeah, my wife. So we went down to San Francisco. We stayed down there. This has got to be like 5 years ago. And so we were in Chinatown. And her daughters came with us as well. So they came. We all went like a little family trip. We went to a Giants game. Had a blast. But we went to Chinatown. It was like my first time really going to Chinatown. I had been there before, but it was really quick. This time we were like, we got to go see Chinatown. We're going to eat at a Chinese restaurant while we're there. So I went there, and they went into like this little toy store. There was like a toy store. They had all those like little like anime Japanese toys.
Yeah.
So they went in there, and I was standing outside. I was on my phone. all of a sudden, I see like commotion on the street, and I'm like, "What's going on here?" I see all these people get in front of this little, like I later found out it was like a bakery, but there was like a glass window. I saw all these people just walk over to this side of the street and like start getting in line. I have no idea what's going on. But because I'm like a sheep, I'm like, okay, whatever these guys are getting in line for, I'm just gonna go stand in line for it. So I just went and stood in line behind all these people. I have no idea what I'm there for. I'm trying to like listen.
Was it for mooncakes?
I don't know what they were called. But so I finally asked somebody like, what are we doing? Like, what are we in line for? What does this place have? And they're like, oh, this little bakery, it only opens like when it wants to open. There is no hours here. When they put the open sign on the door, that means they're open, and when they close it, they're closed. But it was like these little custard cakes.
Those are mooncakes.
All right. So anyway, I went into the store. I was like, give me a dozen of them. And it was so crazy, in typical San Francisco like fashion. It wasn't anything like that we have here in like Yuba City. But I remember they were like, there was like 4 like Asian women like behind the counter, like making these, frantically putting them in boxes. And they had like an intercom behind them, and they were touching the intercom, and then like they were making them downstairs, almost like some like sweatshop or something. Oh. They were like making custard cakes, and then they were bringing them from the basement. And man, people were just like going crazy for these things. I got a dozen of them. They were pretty tasty. I remember we took a bunch of them home. I mean, I didn't think they were like the greatest thing in the world, but they were pretty tasty. But it was so crazy because people just like, as soon as they saw them put that open sign, bunch of people on the street that knew what was going on there, they just like lined up, right? Yeah. And so anyways, got some of those custard
I've been
cakes.
there. It's really good. I know because my dad was really into it, because we have relatives that came from Japan, not China, but I know a lot of it's integrated. But obviously, if you live in Marysville, a lot of the Chinese and Japanese cultures kind of mix because of the immigration, all of them immigrating here. But it's pretty good. They're pretty bomb.
Yeah.
I know, but I think as far as like the taste, I think a lot of people, especially people of the culture, they like have good memories with it. So maybe that's why it tastes so good, or it's just like a dish they're used to. It's like a comfort dish,
Yeah.
I don't know.
What else blew my mind while I was there? There's this it's like on an alleyway in Chinatown. Somebody told me about it at the hotel. They were like, oh, you got to go check this out. It's just cool to see. But there is like, you go down this little alleyway, and then you go into like this back lot, and there is like a fortune cookie factory. And it was literally, okay, I kid you not, it was literally like a room probably like twice as big as this. And then there was a back room too. But it was like a room twice as big as this, kind of long, rectangular. And then there was like a conveyor belt, but like a very crude one, like not the type you would like see really, really well done. It was a conveyor belt, and the fortune cookies were like, they were like kind of gummy still. They weren't hard. And then there was a lady sitting on a stool, and she literally was just grabbing the dough cookie off, grabbing the little fortune, shoving it in there, folding it up, and then it like kept going on the conveyor belt.
I bet those were bomb.
Yeah. You could buy them in the gift shop, and I don't know if that's how they're all made. I'm sure they're not. Like when you go to Panda Express, it's probably not all made from a lady, but that was that lady's entire job all day long, was just to like hand fill fortune cookies.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
You think she ever put something funny in there?
I don't know.
I feel like I would do it.
I always thought it'd be cool if like fortune cookies like weren't such, like if they had ones sometimes with bad fortunes in them, just to kind of freak you out.
Oh my gosh!
I don't believe in a fortune cookie.
Just be like, you're gonna lose like $100 today or something terrible.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, Adam. Peach Festival, another summer event.
Oh yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. So like, so the downtown stroll in Yuba City, been to that one. Peach Festival is a little bit more my jam.
I love
I lived in Marysville. I mean, we both have talked about it before. I know you live in Marysville now. Like, I love Yuba City. I have like a real soft spot for Marysville.
I do too.
Like, it's cool. Like, I'll sit up at night. And I was telling Jessica, she's a new agent. I was like, dude, because it's part of being a realtor is knowing your surrounding area, but like I'll sit up at night and watch YouTube videos of like old Marysville. It's cool.
It's really cool.
It's cool.
I think it's definitely slept on, but I just have so many good memories. I've lived in Marysville my whole life, so even if you guys know where Training Zone is, what street is that? Is it D Street?
D Street, yeah.
Yeah, so on D Street, just the whole thing at night, because they have the lights and everything, it's like breathtaking. After the gym, me and Jose will like walk up and down the street, and I'm just like, wow, this is nice.
Did you see Danny Mullen came back?
He did?
Dude, okay, wait. We don't have to get way into this. We don't have to get way into it. But Danny Mullen is just like, he's going to be like...
Came back and did another video
yeah,
or what?
He's going to be like, hopefully he sees this. That guy, okay, so the first time I even heard of that guy was I was searching for Marysville videos on YouTube. And he popped up.
I know, I saw that.
And so he's like this comedian. He's very, very crude. I don't stand by everything that he does. But anyways, he's kind of funny sometimes.
If something's going to be about your town, you're going to watch it.
Yeah. So I watched it, and there's this part in it where he goes to this, it's like a action figure store.
The toy shop?
Yeah, it's a toy shop. And we've both been there, like handing out flyers.
First of all, I love going there because they always have cats in the windows. Like, there's 2 cats that are in there. And again, after I go to the gym, it's right by the gym. So I'll just, like, say hi to the cats that hang out in the window.
Yeah.
But everyone there is really sweet. Like, I'll go in there because the antique toys, like, it's crazy to see history, you know?
Yeah, those toys are cool.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah. But anyways, Danny Mullen is this like famous YouTuber, or like as famous as you get on YouTube, and he makes silly videos. He came to Marysville one time, made a video. He kind of like loosely like he's kind of making fun of Marysville, but it's all kind of like tongue in cheek.
It's like a person. He's a persona.
Yeah,
basically.
that's it. That's what he does to every place. So I didn't take any offense to it. It was funny. But anyways, so he goes into this toy store and he meets a young gentleman, and he kind of gives him a hard time. Well, in the second video, he comes back. I was going to ask you, that just came up. If you saw it just came on like Sunday, because then I started subscribing to him, and he uploads videos every Sunday, and then he was like Marysville rehashed or something like that, the video's called, and he basically the whole video is about him and the toy store guy. He's like a young kid, I don't know how old he is, but in the comment section people were going crazy over that kid at the toy store.
They love him.
Yeah, and I ended up seeing on like he has his own like subreddit, the Danny Mullen subreddit, and that guy's like a celebrity on there, that Toy Story guy. There's tons of people who like live in California, maybe other states too, who will go to that toy store just to take a selfie with him. Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
Remember when we went in there and we're like, what if we ask him about
the Danny Mullen video? Oh no, and then too.
That's scary.
Like
though.
I used to like work out at the gym, and his dad would work out there too. The kid that works at the toy store. And he was a really, really cool guy. Still is a cool guy.
They're really cool.
I kind of figured when the first video came out, he wouldn't love it. You know what I mean? Because he's kind of slightly making fun of his son a little bit. But he's in the second video, and he's walking around town with them, and it's just funny.
I mean, I know, that's one thing, because we thought, like, what if he was getting made fun of? And we're like, we're obviously not going to support that. But I was just like, it's cool to know that he wasn't, like, taking offense by it. Yeah,
I mean, it seemed to me, like, from watching the video, what they were alluding to, that they've gotten some business and publicity from it. So
that's really good, though.
At the end of the day, I don't think he ever really makes fun of him, like, too hard.
Yeah,
or whatever, so.
It was just like a
I'll
weird
let Danny
situation.
Mullen or anybody make fun of me if I was going to leave me some business. You feel free.
Feel free.
Yeah, feel free.
That's so crazy. And I remember when we saw him, it's crazy because he's pretty young, right?
So and he's shy.
Yeah, and he's really shy. So how did that video go? Like, they were just walking around town, just...
Yeah, and they're making him say stuff, In the first video, they were telling him, like, trying to get him hooked up with girls.
Well, like an older girl. Yeah. Like, he was, like, what, like 14, 15? And
the second video is more than that. Actually, don't even, like, watch it if it's not... Don't watch it with your kids. It's, like, a little bit... It's a little bit more than... I would say it's PG-13 at the very least.
Oh. It's rough.
Yeah, but anyways, it's a funny video. And that is on D Street. That is one of the stores on D Street. But D Street is cool. Peach Festival is awesome. It has a certain vibe around it. I don't really party. I don't really drink too much anymore. No partying in my future here because I got a kid and I'm old now. But man, Peach Festival, we used to go have a heck of a time. If that's your thing, man, go afterwards. There's a lot of bars, restaurants, people are doing like crawls and things like that. But the Peach Festival is awesome. Summer Stroll is awesome. Great places to go on Plumas. Plumas has some awesome shops and stores.
I love it a lot. And for the Peach Festival, shout out to the Sidaros. They're some good family of mine. Their peaches are really good. The donut peaches are the best. And then I always get the Firefighters lemonade. They make a really amazing lemonade there. But on D Street, there's so many cute antique stores. And I used to go through there and go through like old yearbooks, which is crazy. And then a lot of it's from like out of state too, which is kind of interesting. Because it just shows how many people have moved in and out. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. Marysville has a lot of history.
Yeah, Marysville's cool.
What's your favorite?
My dad loves the white peaches from there.
They're good.
But my favorite what?
What's your, like, favorite fun fact about Marysville? Like, if you would advise to anyone, like, did you know about this?
Sometimes I tell people, and when I first heard it, I thought, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. That can't be true. Mm-hmm. But then when you kind of like look back, you see that it really could have been a possibility. Is that Marysville was once thought to be, they were going to make it the state capital before Sacramento, mm-hmm. just because of how many people had come here and how ahead of its time it was. If you watch like some of those YouTube videos, you can see like in the early 1900s and stuff, like when like, you know, civilizations mm-hmm. were starting to like, you know, buildings and mm-hmm. things, like Marysville was really, really nice. I think it was like Mark Twain that said, I know it was one of those guys, and Mark Twain, that said it was one of the most well-built cities at the time in the United States that he had visited.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even some of those, like, what's crazy is when you go back and you watch some of those old videos, like, you know, YouTube is the primary place where you'll find them, you know? Mm-hmm. But, like, one of the first Macy's ever was right there in Marysville.
I think it might have been
it might have been the first Macy's ever was in Marysville on that main strip. But when you go back and look at it, a few of the buildings that are there, like the brick ones, are the same exact building. I mean, they've been, you know, restructured, resurfaced on the front or whatever, but they're the same exact buildings. You know, now there's obviously concrete, but before you can see it's like cobblestone and like dirt, like carriages. And
that's so insane.
I have a friend that they've soon passed, but a guy that I went to high school with, his grandma and grandpa were like original like settlers in Live Oak, California. Mm-hmm. But basically they were pretty old. Like I said, they're no longer here. But anyways, they were telling us a story one time that they used to travel from Live Oak all the way to Marysville in like horse and buggy, and then it would take them like an entire day. Live Oak is only a town that's like, you know, in a car like 25 minutes away mm-hmm. from Marysville, 20 minutes away. They used to travel horse and buggy, then they'd stay the night in Marysville, get all their supplies, and then drive back to Live Oak.
What? Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah. So, like, Marysville was, like, a big hub. It's kind of crazy. Like, if you live here in Marysville, Yuba City now, obviously Yuba City has kind of overshadowed a little bit. Like, mm-hmm. Marysville, it's become the bigger city. You know, they have more stores and more things resources. Like that. And I think that's the reason why Marysville didn't become the capital, is because what was important back in the day is, like, and it still is important, but is a water source. And mm-hmm. Marysville had the water, and it had the gold, mm-hmm. and that's just where everybody went. Mm-hmm. But now you don't need to be as close to water. It's not as big of a deal. And Marysville, it couldn't grow anymore because of the water. It surrounded it, and so it couldn't really be the capital, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. Have you ever been to, you know, the Buckeye Parade and everything like that? Have you ever been to the Buckeye, like, museum? Did you know there's a museum?
No.
It's really cool. I didn't know till last year that there was a Buckeye museum.
Yeah. I know they have, like a deep... you know, culture for that type of stuff.
It's like it's near the temple, like by Silver Dollar Saloon.
Silver Dollar.
It's right behind it, which is crazy. It's like you live your whole life and you didn't know that was existed, but there's a whole culture like.
And Silver Dollar used to be a brothel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been told. I've never seen the top. Supposedly they'll show you if you get in good terms.
I had my 21st birthday there.
At the top?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Shout out to Joe.
He's cool.
He's really cool. He gives a lot of back to the community, which is awesome. But yeah, if you can, stop by Silver Dollar Saloon.
Yeah, especially right now. I mean, everything after the pandemic, it's like, you know, it's hard times. Mm-hmm. Silver Dollar, I just know I've seen them post a lot of stuff, you know. I wouldn't say they're struggling or anything, but they just need your support, just 100%. Like everybody does. And so Silver Dollar is a cool place. It's one of those places that I guarantee you people might not like always be thinking about going, but once it's gone, you'll wish that it was here. Mm-hmm. So if you want it to stay open, you got to support it. You know what 100%. I mean? And then you're right, that Joe guy, that guy was a bartender there for like years and years and years. So he's somebody that actually cares about the place. They have a lot of like live music. I guess so many.
They have a lot of events, and they give back to the community a lot. Because I know Joe just took like a bunch of sandwiches over to like the fire department and everything. They run a backpack run every year, things like that. But I like it. It's something where the community of Marysville can just get together, hang out. But what was the other thing I was going to mention? Oh, they have a bunch of, even the artifacts in the actual restaurant. They have Winchester rifles, like, in case. Yeah. That's crazy. It's so much history. And then I look at it, and then, speaking of the Winchester House, have you ever been?
Where's that?
It's in San Jose.
No.
Do you know what it is?
I have never been to San Jose that I can remember.
I don't think I have either, but Do you know about the Winchester story and everything?
They make rifles and stuff?
How they make rifles, but about the Winchester house.
No.
You've never heard about that?
No, but you're going to tell me.
I'm going to tell you. This is so good. I'm glad. So the Winchester house, I forget their names, so I'm just going to say wife and husband, right?
Wifey Winchester.
Yeah, wifey Winchester. Okay, so obviously Mr. Winchester, he started the whole rifle company. And forgive me if I'm wrong by any means, but he started the whole company with his wife, right? So there was a time where the rifles stopped working. Like they started misfiring and it killed a lot of people. So they lived out, I believe, San Jose. But anyways, long story short, the husband died. Later, I don't know what happened to him. I'm not sure. I don't know if it was natural causes or if he was murdered for all the people he's killed. Not killed, but killed. But I guess the wife was saying all the people that were killed by the guns that he created started haunting her house. So she would freak out, and because they're wealthy, obviously they owned a really good gun company at the time, besides like the misfiring, that one bad shipment, right? Anyways, so she started seeing ghosts, and what she would do is every time, and this is a true story, so every time there was a ghost, she would build another room to escape the ghost, and then add another room, and add another room, and another room, and then she would destroy them as they would come so the ghost wouldn't find her.
That seems a little much.
It's a lot, but it's true. Like,
do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
I don't believe in ghosts.
I believe in ghosts.
We don't need to get into that right now. That could just be like another whole podcast. But ghosts, you know what? Real. When you tell me that story, all I keep thinking of is, that's insane that a guy makes a rifle. It has a faulty mechanism in it to where a bunch of people keep, like, I'm assuming, like, they go to shoot it and the bullet just goes back this way. That, like, whatever time that was, like in 2023, that would never happen. I mean, one guy might do it, and then there would be like a recall on all the guns. Like, you buy a brand new car these days, and then like one of them has like a tailgate malfunction or an airbag malfunction, and then they send you everybody that owns a recall thing, and then it doesn't happen to like anybody else.
Well, this was back in the day.
I know, but that's crazy. Think about technology though. How many lives just some being able to like get the word out would save. All those people, they just had to learn the hard way. They're just like, I'm going to go out and shoot my trusty rifle. And then it's like, boom. And then it's like, oh, little did you know that happened to 1,000 people last week. And it's like nothing because you can't get the message out.
Well, there's only so much. Yeah, you can't get the message out.
But if that happened today, you get the message out. If they just made like Smith & Wesson just made a new pistol and it happened to like 2 or 3 people, it'd be such a big deal. Like, it'd be on the news, or they'd send it to you because like when you go buy a gun, you have to do so much paperwork. You'd get something in the mail that say, hey, don't shoot your pistol. We got like to return it for like a credit. But back in the day, it's like, if nobody came to tell you on the horse, you just didn't get the message. But you got a bad rifle.
It would take 3 days for them to get finally to them.
It'd take you losing your life to find out.
That's so terrible, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah. There's people that still go into the Winchester house and they see, like they'll take pictures because it says in the camera you can see like certain things, right? I know you don't believe in ghosts, but it says.
I'm so skeptical.
Why?
You know what I've always said though? It's not that I don't believe in ghosts at all. Zero. Here's the reason why though. Here's the reason why. Because I used to work at a hospital for a long time, 17 years, and I always used to think if there were ghosts anywhere, don't you think they'd be at this hospital? And I never saw one. But I will say this: if I do see a ghost, I will be like, if someone comes to me or anything paranormal, I'll be the first person to say, hey, like it could be, and then, I could easily be swayed. I just have never even seen a hint of ghostliness.
You haven't had any interaction?
No.
That's so
never
weird.
Never even like a little trickle through my hair.
That's
you know what I mean?
So weird. I've been in houses where someone was killed, and you could see, yes.
Was it them or was it just you?
No, it was like a showing. And they have to notify you. And I saw on the ground.
Some of those basements on the showings do feel ghostly. Those are
especially
scary.
The ones built in the 1920s. I'm telling you, I sold a house in Yuba City. The basement was haunting. Like I told him, I was just like, I'm not visiting you.
Now that's
that basement's
true.
Scary.
That's true. Some of them are absolutely scary.
Yeah, but that's when I feel the little tickle. Anyways, I went to this house, and you could literally like see a stain on the ground from where they like naturally
drop their Whopper.
But they were like
the ketchup.
But they were there for like a. What was that?
You said there was a stain on the ground from where they dropped their Whopper and the ketchup smeared.
Well, you know what
that's
what
it was. It's always
like.
It's like ghosts are like magic. It's kind of inconceivable till you find out how the trick is done, and then it makes sense. Like you say, "Oh, there's a ghost." My friend thought there was a ghost one time because he say, "Oh, you know that little knob in your refrigerator that one of them controls how cold the freezer is, and one of them cold." He says, "Somebody keep moving it," and then we ended up finding out of his girlfriend. Dude, that's not a ghost. Yeah, that was your girlfriend. She didn't want her sodas to explode. You know what I mean?
I can't speak for your friends.
All right, I'm just saying though. There's usually
there's some crazy stuff. I'm just saying. So when I was younger, I lived with my mom, my sister, and my siblings. Right. So we were staying at this house, and then my grandma she passed in the house. So. We're still living in the house.
Got to disclose that, by the way.
I do have to disclose that.
I'm just kidding.
I do. So she passed in the house. And then one day I was like just watching TV, and I was really young. I was really young. Younger than I am now. But I was just laying on the ground, watching my VHS tapes, and then all of a sudden, like, the TV started falling, and it almost landed on me. But it was like there wasn't an earthquake. It was just me by myself in the room. And then that happened. It was like there's no way that could have happened.
All right, ghosts are real, man.
Yeah, ghosts are real.
Ghosts are real. Based on those findings, ghosts are real.
But I'm telling you, like, when there's, like, chills in the back... another thing. So this is really sidetracked. So I'm going to pause the ghost story real quick. Have you ever heard of the black hole theory? Me and my buddies were just talking about this. So, do you know when you lose random things and they were like, dude, I set it here. There's no way it kind of moved.
Like your socks?
Yeah.
Always.
Well, the socks, I think there's a reasonable explanation. Literally get stuck in your dryer. Like there's somewhere, there's like a video on it. Watch TikTok. But the black hole...
TikTok.
Thank you. The black hole theory is like a black hole pops up anywhere in the universe. And just in that second where you set your phone down, it sucked it up.
When are you going to get to the part where you ask me if I believe in that?
I know you're not going to believe in it.
No, that's not true.
Because it's crazy.
There's too many real things going on in the world for me to think about fake things. But ghosts could be real.
Ghosts are real.
What about mermaids?
Mermaids aren't real.
Have you seen the new Little Mermaid movie?
Mermaids aren't
real. How
do
you explain that woman with the fishtail?
Got me. You got me, man. Mermaids are real.
No, mermaids are not real.
I don't think mermaids are real. I don't think Bigfoot's real.
Oh, I used to have a girlfriend, and she 100%... I hope she's never going to watch this. She's never going to watch it. She probably hates my guts. But I used to have this girlfriend, and she would, drag me to watch mermaid documentaries and Bigfoot documentaries. And at the end of it, it was like, I don't even know, no, they don't exist.
People spend their whole lives, looking for it, and it's just, it's kind of sad.
I know.
I just don't understand what you think Bigfoot could be. What
like a man in a ghillie suit. That's the only thing it could be.
What else?
I think the Bigfoot, the myth, it could have kept going without the invention of cell phones. And other video cameras. I guess if we didn't have the cell phone, we would have the camcorders would obviously be way better, GoPros, things like that. But the cell phone, every single person that you watch, I'm going to show you right now. All right, here we go. Look, my phone. That was 3, 4, 5. So this is a bad example too. And then watch. Boom. I'm taking a picture right now. Mm-hmm. So if Bigfoot existed, you would just be able to do that, and then you'd be able to get a clear picture of him.
That's the thing.
Once the cell phones and everything got so easy, people stopped about Bigfoot. It's come on, man. If you see one, you're not just gonna get a picture of him like this, all blurry. You know what I mean? That's how they got. Every picture you always see, he's always this, and he's hella blurry.
No, you have to do the look too. You have to be like this. Yeah.
But his face is all grainy. Yeah. That's
so
come
awesome.
on, man. This what are you using, a Nokia to get that one? Yeah. He doesn't exist.
That's awesome. Mermaids, I feel like people will say they've seen mermaids, but I don't think it's a human something. I think it would just
it's like a big fish.
I think it's a really big fish, an ugly looking fish that maybe you're kind of like a seal. People can see seals kind of resemble a person, you know, if from a long distance. But maybe it's just a funky looking seal, and they're mermaids.
You introduced me to somebody that says they believe in mermaids seriously. and I'll guarantee they're kind of a little bit weird.
A little bit weird.
They're like, that's not the only thing that's like a little off with them. There's probably other things but hey, if you believe in mermaids, don't let me rain on your parade. Maybe they exist. Same thing with the ghost. If I don't really get in the ocean. I'm kind of scared of the ocean. Like, I don't really like it. I feel like if God wanted me to be in there, he would have gave me gills or something. And I'm definitely
would have been a mermaid.
Yeah, I'm definitely not top of the food chain. But if for some reason I ever see a mermaid or Bigfoot, I'll be like, sure, I saw one. I never have. I don't think I'm gonna.
How about skinwalkers?
I saw that documentary. No, I don't believe in any of it.
You don't believe in skinwalkers?
But I was telling Cindy, I don't believe in aliens neither.
I don't believe in aliens.
How do you believe in some like that? There's ghosts.
I believe in
aliens.
Spiritual stuff. I don't believe in.
I don't believe in ghosts.
That's so weird.
Is it weird to like straight up not believe in something, but then something like very not credible could change your mind easily? Because that's how I am.
So I think it's because I'm like a spiritual person. So I like ghosts are real. Like I know there's bad ghosts and good ghosts, demons, whatever. That's how I see it.
Hey, they could be.
That's crazy.
Hey, it's one of those things nobody really knows.
I think skinwalkers are real. Do you know what a skinwalker is?
No.
You don't know what a skinwalker is?
No, I saw the documentary like on the Skinwalker Ranch, but I forget what it was about.
Skinwalkers are like creatures that can turn into animals or they shapeshift basically. And skinwalkers, they can mimic your loved one's voices like in the middle of the night. So I live in the middle of like Timbuktu, and I'm always very scared that I'm gonna like my cat's gonna come in and he's gonna be like walking
on like two legs.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm scared.
Cats can do that, some of them.
He all comes in and I'm all, get out of here.
Hey, get out of here.
But yeah.
Forget about it. He said, hey, you, get out of here. Like as soon as your cat comes in, New York accent, Joey Tribbiani from Friends. Ask me your next question. What's the next question on here?
Oh.
That can be it.
That was about it. But I'm really curious because I didn't realize how diverse our conspiracy theory beliefs are.
Well, it's okay. As long as you're allowed to have a civil conversation about it.
Like Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
We're practically Joe Rogan.
This is like the Joe Rogan podcast. I told her before we walk in here, I was like, listen, you better have some good talking points. Don't ask me what do I want to talk about, because Joe Rogan wouldn't do that.
I'm glad you think I'm on the high scale with Joe Rogan.
Like, honestly, I really think, like, sky's the limit. You could literally take this further than Joe Rogan podcast.
Wow.
We just got to let's think of some, like, while we're on here, what are, like, some interesting, I'm not interesting, I'm, like, literally a C-list celebrity. You know what I mean?
My next goal is to have, hopefully, Steve on the podcast. But that's an hour of his
time.
No.
Okay, no, Steve on the podcast is good. Steve on the podcast
But you're saying realistically, like, celebrities that I would want to talk to?
No, not celebrity. You're not going to get a celebrity.
But
you got to work up to that. But no. Here's the number one goal, I think, in mind. Compelling. The word compelling is to compel.
I just thought of one person that came to mind.
So it's got to be somebody on the podcast that other people will be like, oh, I gotta watch this episode.
I know a person.
Who?
I can't say it on camera.
Oh my gosh. Tell me afterwards.
You know who it is.
What's the first letter of his first name?
No.
Just say, they won't know.
No, we're gonna wait on that.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, so who do I think would be like compelling?
I can write it.
Definitely some business owners around here. Like there would be some, that would be a fire one.
That would have been a good one.
If you somehow booked that one right there, like, man, you'd at least get 10 views.
Dude, I don't think they would ever do it because,
it wouldn't be like 10 views like how, we usually get our 10 views. It'd be like 10 views and people were like on the edge of their seat, like literally watching from beginning to end.
That's so controversial, though.
No skipsies. Yeah, don't do that.
I can't do that.
It's career suicide, okay? Just wait until you like...
We're just waiting out the downfall.
Wait until you've been disavowed and then you can pull that kind of crazy stuff. But anyways, some business owners would be way cool. Like some of those people that you mentioned on Plymouth Street, that would be cool.
I interviewed the guy from Sawyer Sweet Spot, and I would love to do that again, but get some people on
podcast
would be cool.
The thing about podcast style is to me, if you want to make it entertaining, like you can only talk about Sawyer Sweet Spot, and that is a great place with a great mission.
Well, they sold the company. They're the new owners.
But is it still like they donate a lot of money to like kids and stuff, I think.
I don't recall anymore.
Well, who knows? But I'm saying you can only spend so long talking about the business, and that one's one you might be able to talk about longer because it's like candy. Who doesn't love candy and all the things that they have? But then, like, people want to talk about, like, I want to, like, what I would think would be cool is if, like, you had the Sawyer Sweet Spot guy right here, and you're like, do you believe in Bigfoot?
Oh,
and then he's just like, what? We were talking about candy, and you're like, yeah, but we're done with that. How about mermaids? You know what I mean?
I should do that. I should ask everyone who goes on the podcast their conspiracy theories on mermaids, Bigfoot, and what was the other one? Ghost.
Yeah.
We're going to ask every single one for the next couple ones.
You know who I'd love to get in the hot seat? Because he's like one of those guys. He's pretty squeaky clean. But I'd love to really know. Like, I think he walks the line. It's Sonny. I'd like to just get Sonny in there.
Sonny, we're getting you on the podcast.
Yeah, Sonny Purewall. He's like this good-looking realtor in our area. I'd just love to get him in the hot seat and just be like, what do you think about skinwalkers?
Oh my god. You're so funny.
Hey, tell me the truth about bottled water. No, I'm just kidding. I'm only going to say because he drinks like natural spring water out of a glass bottle. You know, like, just he would be like, listen, guys, I don't want to ruffle any feathers here. Bottled water is cool. That's awesome. I think that's what he would do.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? But anyways, you want to get some people in here and then get them a little...
I can't drink bubble water.
Get them a little uncomfortable.
Can you drink bubble water? Do you like it?
Yes. I drink LaCroix all the time. Mm-hmm. So, like, I used to be way into, like, for my caffeine, Diet Pepsi. So I used to drink a lot of that.
When I first met you, you would have, like, a Diet Pepsi, like, every morning. Like, you had one with you every morning. Now you don't.
Now I don't really, unless I can't. Yeah, Red Bull, but sugar-free, by the way, and the low-sodium one. It's weird. I can't really understand. Both of them say 0 sugar, but this one's, like, even better for you. It has, like, very low sodium.
I feel like the caffeine is what really does it to you, too. I drink way too many Red Bulls. I need to stop.
I really feel, though, like, the best thing for you... and they've done studies on it, and it's, like, natural from the ground, is coffee.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are some bad things about it, like, it stains your teeth.
I was going to say, that's, like, my biggest fear is my coffee staining my teeth.
Yeah, but you know what I always think? Like, technology is moving, like, really, really fast. And, like, when I was a kid, like, I remember, like, you know, only, like, grandpas had false teeth.
Now everyone has false teeth.
Everybody, like all the IG models, like all the wannabe IG veneers. Models in the gym, they just go get those veneers. They they'd be like, and then the next day they come back and they're just white. Like they got a bunch of chiclets.
It's like unsettling white though.
I know
it's like weird. I know JoJo Siwa. She has like
oh my gosh.
Bright
I just
white.
asked you who that was the other day. I'm like,
I know.
Who is this person? She's like working out her home thing. She's like, hey everybody, and they think that looks good. I would at least tell them like if I was gonna go get those kind of, I'd be like, can you like put a little tinge of yellow in there, make it look realistic? Well, you have that
choice, but I think that's what she chose to. It's like she's kind of known to be.
I never seen anybody get like when they first get them.
They're expensive. I think it's like for that, like her whole thing's like $40,000 or something.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Everything's expensive when it starts, and like, dude, it'll be like you'll be able to get veneers one day as fast as me and you go through the car wash.
That's crazy.
You just pull in there and they'll be like, sit back, please.
Going to the dentist scares me. I have nightmares of losing my teeth. That's so like intimidating. But I also like, I don't know, the drilling noise really gets me going because it's like it's right in your head and your ears, so you can't like escape it.
My guy names all his little, my guy Eager Evans. I need to go back to the dentist. I haven't been in a while, but he names all the little attachments. He's like, oh,
this is Bob the scalpel.
He's like, all right, get ready for Mr. Bumpy. He's like Russian or something, and that's the one I hate the most when you get a cavity, and they have to like, you know,
drill a hole.
Yeah, and they have to like, I think they have to like, you know, like when you paint something, like you know how sometimes you have to scrape something up to get it to stick. I think in order to get that glue to stick, they kind of like scrape your teeth up a little bit. So he's like, all right, here's Mr. Bumpy, and it's just like that. Yeah. And then you can like, it's here, but you can like feel it in your baby toe. You know what I mean? It's just like all through your body.
It's gross.
Teeth are not meant to be like.
You know, well, they're bones, and that's another thing that's gross to think about. But they're bones. You know, I have a root canal, and I'm so angry about it. But I got a root canal when I was younger, and they, like, messed up pretty bad. Like, the cap still is off. Like, I got it fell off, like, 4 times already. the cap was off. But anyways, I went to a different dentist because I was like, dude, why am I getting like so many root canals? I take good care of my teeth. So I had 2 root canals done, and then I went to a different dentist, and they're like, you didn't even need one. Which it pissed me off. I don't know if they're still in business anymore, by the way, but it really like pissed me off because I'm like, now I have a really bad chipped tooth, and I need to go to the dentist. I just don't have time.
All right, I'm going to piggyback off that, and this is something that I worked for a lot of years in a hospital, and I, worked with a lot of great physicians. Second opinions are absolutely a thing. You know what I mean? Like, these guys go to school for a long, long time, and they're very, very smart.
I just think they're educated. People too.
Yeah, but they're people too. And, like, you know what? Sometimes I think, like, other factors is based as, like, what they might do come into play, but what they might do is not necessarily what you might do. Real estate's taught me that big fact. What they might do is usually never what I would do. Yeah. But, hey, man, everybody has their own reasons for doing stuff. And, honestly, a lot of times, once you peel back the layers of why they want to do it, it does make sense. It's just everybody has different situations in their life. But imagine, like back in the day, like having like a cavity and it getting so bad and you just having to pull your own tooth.
Well, you get ear infections like that. All of this affects up here. I've had people, what was it? Someone said they had something going on with their teeth and they like went kind of deaf in their ear because there was something wrong with their teeth. That's intimidating.
Yeah.
Wow. Teeth are freaky, man. And they're just bones. You can't get your teeth back. You just get them replaced. Oh.
Guys, brush your teeth, floss. One of my best friends, his name is Luke, and his wife Katie is a hygienist. And when she became like a dental hygienist, I was like, dude, is she on you all the time about flossing? Because they always ask you in the office. My sister is. So like imagine if you were like married to a hygienist, and then you're just trying to relax after you just ate a steak, and they're like,
brush your teeth.
Are you gonna floss? You just ate that steak. There's probably pieces in your teeth.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm just trying to relax. I'm going to do it before I go to bed. I promise.
It's like having your mom.
Yeah. Like, that'd be...
My sister's like that.
That'd be rough.
She's a dental assistant, but she was like that. She wanted me... Because I originally went to college to be a dental hygienist.
Yeah.
Because she was like, yeah, it's great. You'll love it. And then just obviously wasn't for me. But she's like that with her kids. She's like very strict on what to eat, like gummies, all of that for the reason of... she's just seen so many bad cases.
Yeah. You ever watching the movies? Like, that's like a very popular scene in like movies where like the husband and wife get ready for bed and they're in their pajamas and then they go into their their Jack and Jill sink and then they like start to brush their teeth, but then they start to floss and then they do the mouthwash. That's not real life, is it?
I don't think
I use mouthwash and I
floss.
I floss sometimes. But
I have to floss. The way my teeth
you floss every night?
Really? I have to. Yeah.
All right. I probably floss like twice a week, and I use those little toothpicky ones.
I use the toothpick ones. I don't use the actual floss.
The string is better though.
I don't like it.
Oh, it's better though. You can get all the ways, but I don't do that neither. But
my teeth are like layered at the front, so I have to do it. Otherwise, they look I get that. I guess you can do gum, but you have grape gum.
That's good. Sometimes you want a minty gum. Sometimes you just want a little fruity fruit.
The purpose of gum is to be minty.
I know, but sometimes like you just want something to chew
on. I guess. Do you remember Altoids, the orange flavored Altoids?
No. Just the red ones, but I don't like Altoids. You want to hear something crazy about gum? Like my kid is like 2.5. This was like months ago though when this happened. And she was like, I always keep the gum in the center console in my car.
Did she eat all the gum?
No. So like she opened one out and she put it in her mouth, right? And this was to me, it like blew my mind, but I don't know if it would blow yours. But like, so kids, when they stick stuff in their mouth, like if it tastes good,
they're gonna swallow it.
They swallow it, right? She put it in her mouth and was like chewing. I didn't even know she had it, right? And then she took it out of her mouth all chewed up and then like put it away. Then reached back into the thing, grabbed more gum, chewed on it for a while, and then put it away.
Maybe it's from, like, shows she's watched.
Maybe, but it was weird how instinctually she knew not to swallow it. But then I started to think, you ever chew gum? Like, go put a piece of gum in your mouth right now and chew it. It's weird whatever it's made of, that it doesn't, like, disintegrate and that it's made to chew, right? Like, that's, like, the science of gum. But, like, you ever, like have to swallow it? You can do it. But it feels so, like, anatomically like your body doesn't want to.
I think it's a mind thing. I think we've just been told, don't do it, or you're going to, like, have it stuck in you for 7 years.
Yeah, that. But I also, that's like.
Is that true? I know.
No, it's not true. I used to do insides all the time, and neither is like. Close your ears. Neither is like getting a colonics. That does nothing for you. Like, you know, when you go like that's when people like go and they stick a tube up their butt and then they flush all their systems out. That doesn't do anything for you. It just refills itself the next time you eat something. You know what I mean?
People do that?
Yeah, you know, people do that and they like to feel like they like cleanse themselves. Better to do if you wanted to like cleanse yourself out is to do like a fast or like some kind of like juice diet for a while or something like that with some. But anyways, what were we talking about right before that? No, what were we talking about? The gum thing though. I just think that your mind knows this isn't like edible. Like gum, like there's a little bit of sugars and stuff in it, but it's not like it doesn't break down. And you know, obviously, you chew it in your mouth and it never goes away. And so I think your mind just knows this is not meant to swallow. Anything that doesn't like dissolve at some point or digest is not meant to swallow.
Interesting. Well, Adam.
No, don't end it.
We're almost at the time.
No, we gotta go 9 more minutes, 8 more minutes.
Okay, we'll keep going. Adam, do you have any interesting doctor stories or hospital stories that you could?
Oh my god.
That you could mention. I don't want you to get in any sort of whatever pickle.
No trouble.
Yeah.
No, I have so many. You know, yesterday I will say this. So yesterday I was on my way home. And I drove down Plymouth Street. And Plymouth Street, at the end of Plymouth, is where there was this old hospital, Fremont. And I worked at the hospital. Yeah, me too. Wow. I worked so long that was still open when I used to work. And I drove by it, and I swear to you, I did this. I drove by the outside of it. That funny story. That's also the very first time I saw my wife. I don't know if I told you this story, but way before me and my wife got married, I saw her at the hospital years before, you know, and like all this stuff happened in between. We didn't even like talk, but I saw her in the cafeteria. I thought, oh my gosh, that woman is so beautiful. She was getting her breakfast. I think if I remember correctly, I probably was like, I just paid the lady for what I had in my hand. I was going to order more stuff, but I was like, I'm going to just follow this person like a creature, right? So I followed kind of my wife like from afar. And she was walking down the hall. And then I saw her go out the front door of the hospital and walk across the street because she was working at administration at that time. And I'll never forget this. I went into this like room that was like at the front of the hospital. And there was a window there. That was one of the suites where we worked at. And I went and ran to the window so I could watch her walk across the street. And I thought, oh my gosh, that woman's so beautiful. Then I never really saw her too much more.
But now you're married.
I know. And then like 7, 8, 9, 10 years passed, and then we're married. And I always...
that's crazy.
No, I always think, wouldn't that be crazy if like the ghost of Christmas like future would have came to us both and said, whatever you guys are about to get into, whatever silly relationships or like, you know, just like lifestyle changes you're about to make, just don't do it and just be together now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like somebody could, like, why didn't some ghost or something, why didn't any of your ghosts intervene right there and just tell us, listen, don't date that girl over there, date this girl right here. She's going to be your wife.
That's
you know
so
what I mean?
Awesome.
But instead, everything happens for a reason. Like,
yeah, you had to learn a lesson through that one.
Absolutely.
You never know.
But it's crazy. I definitely didn't know that morning when I was getting breakfast that would be my wife.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I love your wife too.
But I drove by that hospital, that same hospital where I was creepily watching her walk across the street through the window. And it was so sad to me. And every town has these, but like,
I don't know why they
buildings that are just like non-inhabited, and that building is probably so
they
creepy.
It
just wasn't like up to earthquake code and.
Is that really the only reason why?
Yeah, and it wasn't up to date, and then they needed to build a new facility and the Marysville Hospital, because like a lot of buildings, like same as like the Kmart building or whatever. I mean, it's just costs more to rip it down than to just leave it.
You're right.
There's not a lot of like businesses that are like dying to come into that spot, and so there's a lot to it. I mean, it's not just like crushing it. There's like elevators. There's like all kinds of different, surgical rooms.
Everyone was born in that hospital. That's crazy.
That is crazy. I told Steve I did a procedure on the guy that gave birth to me, and I told him that. And to me, I'm sure he didn't think this, but to me, I always wonder if he thought it was weird, because it was kind of weird to me. I bet when he gave birth to me that day, or he was like the doctor that did it, he probably didn't think, man, this guy will be doing a procedure on me one day. This little baby that I'm pulling out right now. Yeah. But that guy, he, him and probably 2 or 3 other men or women, whoever was the the baby doctors at that time, they probably pulled out half of the kids here in town.
That's so weird. And then you get to just watch them grow up, and then you work with them eventually.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so crazy.
But yeah, Fremont used to, all the babies were at Fremont, unless you had them in your car or something like that, or crazy. At home, I guess. But most of the babies all at Fremont. Wow. It was cool when I first started working at Fremont. Sometimes when I would go up there and I'd pass by it, how they had that little section where you could look through the glass? Mm-hmm. That was so cute. I used to walk up, and then there's like, I don't know, all these like scares of like kidnappings and stuff, and so then they wouldn't even let hospital staff go up there, which I understand.
Wait, has anyone got kidnapped?
I don't know, but it does happen, and sometimes there's like like boyfriend, girlfriend, and they're not
like
on good
trying
terms.
To snatch the
Maybe
baby.
Like, yeah, so the babies are on lockdown these days. In 2023, it's lockdown. Even when I had my kid over at Rideout, which did a great job, by the way, that was a really good service over there, and it was just from top to bottom, just a great experience. But oh yeah, dude. You have to do like a retinal scanner to get in. No, you don't have to do a retinal scanner, but they verify, and you're not allowed to have like anybody but the mom and the husband. That's it. That's it.
Wow.
And when you come back, you have to be like, you could get into, a lot of places, like I used to work in surgery, that you couldn't really get in there like without your badge or whatever. But with a badge, you could, get in, or there might be a way to like sneak it into the baby ward at the hospital. That would be like some Mission Impossible type stuff. They got it locked down, which for good reason. You got to protect the babies, you know what I mean? But
the little babies.
It's a cool experience though. One day you're going to have a baby.
One day.
Yeah, and Jose. Somebody posted the other day. They're like, dads, like all dads know this feeling, and it was a dad, and you could tell he was in that, because all of them across America are like very similar. That hard couch that's in the room after the mom gives birth, and like Angel, this guy we know, he just had a baby. And did you see? Was it him or somebody else that just had a baby? And they posted the picture outside of the fountain and the American flag.
I'm not sure.
I think it was Angel, but anyways, it's so funny because like as a dad, I remember that exact day when I was looking out the window, like over here, now the babies are born in Marysville, right? And there's like a fountain, and then there's an American flag right there. And after you have a baby, like every single dad, you get that.
I've never seen
you
that.
Hold your baby and you're in a room, and then you're looking out the window. It's like on the 4th or 5th floor over there in Marysville. And I don't know, you never forget that day when you have a kid. Yeah. So probably for everybody that image flag just sticks with
That's
you.
So
you know what I mean?
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Look on his page. It's like, she posted that meme, and it was kind of funny because you end up like, your wife.
Does every hospital have that, or just?
What do you mean?
The flag and the fountain?
I'm sure almost every hospital has a flag. I don't know if they have a fountain. It's not for the, it's just
I didn't know if it was just, meant something.
No, it's just decor for the hospital, this hospital. But even beside that, like usually almost every hospital has like a roundabout where they bring patients in so they can unload them real quick. And it's just funny because when you have a baby, you do, like you're not sick or anything, but you're there for usually like a day or two. And like as the dad, the wife in that situation, which she 100% deserves it, she gets the comfier bed, and you kind of got to sleep on this little couch that they have for you there. And so it's like 2 days.
I've seen a thing where it's like they put 2 chairs together and they just make a little bed.
Yeah, but you're not going to even say one word about it because your wife just went through labor. You're just going to like zip it. You're not even going to be like, man, my butt's getting sore. Shut up. No, just kidding.
Your butt's sore.
Your butt's sore. No, I know. So it's like, but every guy, if you plan to have a kid or haven't gone through that yet, that's something to look forward to. Spending the night in the hospital, but you don't care because you like have this like it's excited. Crazy. I'll tell you, just because you don't have one, and being somebody who didn't have a kid till late in life, like I was like 35 years old, so 35 years old, and everybody tells you like, oh, it changes your life, and when you hear that, I heard them, oh, it's going to change my life, right? But you don't realize like how it changes your life, and it's just crazy when you have a kid and you're like,
It's a whole responsibility, and then it's like your favorite. It's like you, but smaller, and it's like the love of your life.
Yeah, and you like made them.
Yeah.
Like they're like half you, half your wife, or
That's gonna be crazy to see the attributes like personality-wise she'll get from both of you guys.
Oh yeah, already like even at 2.5, you can tell there's like certain things where she's like her mom, and certain things she's like me. But it's totally crazy when you have a kid, and it's like one of those. You ever have a moment in your life where you're like man, I wouldn't trade my life with anybody. Mm-hmm. Like most of those moments come in my life like when I'm having a good time, and like maybe like I'll be, a lot of them come now for like maybe it's Christmas or like a barbecue or something like that with my wife's family, and we're sitting all there and we're all eating like tacos or something, and I just like stop for like 2 seconds, and it hits me like this feeling like man, I wouldn't trade my life with anybody else. That's how having a kid is.
Oh.
Like, but for longer than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like at least for that whole day, you're in like La La Land. You're like, whatever.
That's awesome.
Bomb drop on the city right now.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool when you have a kid. And then you get them home, and then it's like, no, it wears off. No, I'm just joking.
You're like,
no, they're always cool, but they're a lot of work too.
Yeah,
they're cool.
That's awesome, Adam.
Anyways, on that tearjerker,
I know.
Did we hit the hour mark?
We did. We hit the hour mark. All right. Well, thank you, Adam, for being on the podcast. Let's go.
Yeah, we did it.
Oh my gosh.